just stand by and watch.
You arrested me for being at a barbecue?
He was wrong. Harry shouldn't have had the boy.
You saw that man assault Hugo.
You want to know what I saw? I saw Harry reprimand Hugo.
Well, you said you didn't see anything.
Cops said I'm their best witness.
We reverse the situation. I will do whatever it took for you.
I can't think of anything else. It's eating me up.
Friends should always be on your side.
From the best-selling novel comes the provocative new series, The Slap. Starts Thursday, 6th of October on ABC One.
Mr. Murdoch, you are aware, I take it, that The Chaser is coming back with a new TV show?
No. Have you heard of The Chaser?
No.
That's weird, because we've actually got quite a lot in common. We've been arrested and put in jail just like a lot of your staff.
Would you be interested in a merger, perhaps?
No. How about a cameo in our promo at the very least?
Provided there's not in breach of a contract, a legal contract, yes.
It's the most humble show of their lives. The Hamster Wheel, coming soon to ABC One.
Tonight on Can We Help, we find out why Barbara Huggett reacts like this.
Barbara?
Oh, no way.
And me.
You're joking. No.
I'm flying high on hot air and Josh Byrne talks turkeys. Well, chickens actually, but the line works better with turkeys. Anyway, Josh Byrne joins the show.
Hey, girls.
Hello and welcome to a brand new series of Can We Help? We've got some new segments, some new faces, and as you can see, we're taking you behind the scenes of where I work. We're still very much in the business of helping, which brings us very nicely to our first story, this week's Help Wanted.
Tonight's request is all about glitter and glam, but far from the centre stage, we begin in the town of Cooma, just outside the ACT border. Here two friends, Carol Freese and Anya Rutter, have been busy hatching a plan to give their friend and former colleague an experience of a lifetime.
Her having the time of her life, that's what you really hope to achieve.
Anya and Carol are community nurses with a small town spirit that often sees them go above and beyond to get the job done. But this time, one of their own is most in need, former colleague and friend Barbara Huggett.
I got to meet Barbara originally through work, and then we just become very close friends, in our social life.
I met Barbara about 1.5 years ago when she had a day shift and I had an evening shift, and even just then I thought, this is, one really good nurse. As I got to know her, I just thought, here is a woman with not only a wicked sense of humour, but a lot of integrity.
And that was...
But 8 months ago, Barbara became a patient herself, fighting the odds against an aggressive cancer.
That was a really good day, though.
Yeah.
She's 11 months. She's a real battler. She's doing a great job. She's always kept a great... yes, she's to be admired.
To live her life to the fullest, and for the past few months the girls have been planning a weekend away, heading to the city to see their teenage idol and queen of glam rock, Suzi Quatro, in concert.
She's quite a fan. Well, the last 2 weeks anyway, we've had our LED lighting nights and we've had Suzi Quatro's music playing and we've been dancing and bopping around the shed, and my poor husband thinks we're quite nuts. But no, she really enjoys her.
Susie Quattro's been rocking her way around the world since she was 14. In the 70s, her records were outselling the Beatles, with hits like Can the Can topping our charts.
My main object is just to make people have a good time.
And how do you best do that? How do you think you best do it?
By having a good time myself.
The release of her 14th album last year saw her back in Australia for a national tour that ended in the nation's capital.
Back in our age, when we were teenagers, it was sort of like she was just, the in thing, Susie. She was great.
I think it'll be an opportunity of a lifetime for her to meet the rock idol who embodies a wicked sense of humour and who has great rhythm.
We had only 2 weeks to get Susie's attention, and let me tell you, it's not easy getting in touch with one of the world's great rock icons, especially when she's on tour. We couldn't compete with her fan mail, so we thought we'd call on a few industry contacts who helped us navigate our way to Susie's management. With only a few days to go, we finally got the email we were hoping for.
Hello, Anya. It's Crystal from Can We Help?
Oh, hi, Crystal.
Anya, we've got some really great news for you. We've managed to track down Susie Quattro on her Australian tour, and she'd love to meet with Barbara.
You're joking. Seriously?
Yep, absolutely.
That's awesome.
And we'll see what happens when Barbara meets Susie in just a little while, so no sneaking off to make a cup of tea. Stay where you are. Thank you. Now, keeping chickens in the backyard is having something of a renaissance. Getting fresh eggs, getting rid of your kitchen scraps are just 2 good reasons for investing a bit of time and effort. But there are some very important things that are often overlooked. So here's the wonderful Josh Byrne.
In suburban backyards, the chorus of clucking chooks is growing as people re-embrace the idea of a backyard brood. And why not? There's a lot to like about chickens. They'll quickly convert food scraps into fertiliser and, of course, provide a steady source of fresh eggs. But before you race out and set up your pen, there is some important groundwork to consider. The idea of collecting freshly laid eggs is certainly appealing, but you might find more than you expect inside the shell. The thing to remember is while the chooks are scratching around for food, they also ingest a lot of soil, and this is where you need to be careful. Organochlorine-based pesticides, such as dieldrin, that were commonly used up until the late 1980s, are persistent in the environment, and residual amounts can be detected for decades. Areas along fence lines, as well as near house foundations, sheds, and other outbuildings, is where you're most likely to find contamination. So what should you do? Consider having your soil tested before you bring in chooks. But if your pen's already up and running, you can get the eggs tested. A commercial analysis lab can do the tests for you. Specifically ask for testing for organochlorine pesticide residue. These pesticides are fat-soluble, lodging in the fatty tissue of the chooks and also in egg yolks, but aren't a major risk for veggie growing. The lab will only provide you with the results. The difficulty is getting them interpreted. My opinion is that any detectable level is unacceptable. Organochlorines are known carcinogens and accumulate in the body over time, so it's clearly a good idea to avoid them. But don't let contaminated soils put you off, because there are ways to create a safe environment for your chooks. Following your local council poultry keeping guidelines is a good start, like this new pen, which is getting the finishing touches. The hen house should be at least a metre away from any boundary fences and well away from your house, as these areas are more likely to have been sprayed for pests. A sealed floor with deep litter means your chooks won't come into contact with contaminated soil. If this isn't possible, create a barrier over the soil using geotextile fabric and cover it with straw, mulch and grass clippings. The reality is urban environments aren't pristine, but this doesn't mean that we shouldn't be able to lead a more self-reliant lifestyle through keeping backyard chooks. The important thing is to understand and manage the risks. And the rewards, well, I think they're pretty obvious. Hey girls.
So there you go. Many thanks to Josh. And if you want more information on keeping chickens, I'll give you Josh's mobile number. Here it is. It's 041. Actually, on second thoughts, we'll put a fact sheet on the website. If there are things that you think the Can We Help viewers should know but don't, just write to us and we'll tell them. I'll give you the address in just a little bit. Now it's time to hear from the wonderful Professor Kate Burrage as she answers some of your more wordy inquiries.
A lovely one popped into my inbox this week from Darren of East Fremantle, and he asks, can you tell me the origin of the term "there's the rub"? Or, as I've often heard it, "that's the rub"? Well, the origin here is sport. Sport has always been a great contributor to English vocabulary. You know, I don't know much about cricket, but I might talk about good wickets or sticky wickets or doing something off my own bat or being stumped or caught out. And here I'm drawing on a long tradition, in fact, of taking sporting terminology to provide some exciting imagery. In this case, it's lawn bowls, though. This has been a main player, particularly in early English. And here, rub is the obstacle which diverts the lawn bowl from its proper course. Hence, here's the rub, here's the problem. Or there's the rub, made famous by Shakespeare's Hamlet. In fact, lawn bowls has given us, well, obviously the verb to bowl, but also the word bias, as in inclination or prejudice. I mean, the word came into English from French in the 13th century, but it's actually lawn bowls that's given all the modern uses of bias. You know, when you scratch the surface of so many expressions, you find a hidden metaphor. I mean, sometimes they're automatic, as in this case, you know, with the imagery, once so startling, but now well and truly buried. Every time we open our mouths, every time we put pen to paper, we use metaphor. It's not just the stuff of great poets and writers.
And there you see the lesser spotted Burrage in her natural environment, the urban university. And she doesn't have to put up with my ridiculous interruptions. There will be more from Kate next week. Yes! This, my friends, is the Edit Suite. And this is Jill, the taskmaster, who makes me investigate silly things. Now, I'm not a massive fan of heights, so Jill decided to make me investigate hot air ballooning. It's a funny idea. I've always found the notion of hot air ballooning quite attractive. So I found myself inside the balloon with the flames going. What a stupid idea this turned out to be. Can we just hang on? Stupid idea indeed. For a start, I had to get up at some ridiculous hour in the morning, and then I was put to work.
We're going to be beginning to fill the balloon up with cold air, so we're going to use this fan here to cold inflate the balloon, and effectively what that will mean is this become a big bag full of cold air lying on its side.
Turns out to be a bit of a hands-on experience.
Just when these guys get a little bit of a blue tinge to their lips, I'm going to thaw them back out again by shooting a 4-metre flame past them and kind of pumping hot air into the balloon. And that's going to generally heat the balloon up.
Hello.
And it will eventually lift the balloon up above our head. Now, this will bring the basket into an upright position.
Kip explained how the cables connecting the balloon to the basket were sewn onto 20 separate nylon load tapes which distribute the load around the balloon, meaning there's very little weight on the fabric itself when the balloon is flying.
Okay, so take off quick, Nick, we'll follow you. Basically the concept here, guys, we put hot air in a bag and we go up, and then if you want to go down, we allow gravity to play its evil hand in the whole exercise by just letting the balloon cool down. So
And you've got no control over steering at all. It's purely by the wind. Just wind just takes you wherever it wants to take you.
No control in the sense if I want to change it, I can't.
Yeah, that's right.
But control is kind of making that decision before you take off on the ground. So what happens is you get quite a lot of steerage in the different layers of wind, because wind, it was particularly early in the morning, really gets defined in layers. So it's very flat, and that's why we meet at this ridiculous time of the day, is we're actually trying to get it when it's in quite defined layers. So particularly...
So during the day it gets muddier?
Well, it can start to convex, so they kind of like a big kind of, washing machine. The study of ballooning is the study of meteorology. So, so we're building a picture before we go. And I mean, as a balloonist, that's what you're doing. We're kind of going, we're sitting out there as you guys are arriving, and we're talking about it. We're saying, okay, what will give us the best things? But it's really, the whole discussion is, what are we aiming to land on? And then aiming to achieve that objective, So it's kind of doing the flight in reverse. You do all the planning beforehand, and then you fly, hopefully you fly accordingly.
Melbourne is a pretty unique city to allow balloons to fly over it. Its stable weather, plenty of parkland and distant airport, coupled with a relaxed attitude, means it's all possible.
So the fact that you don't feel any movement in the balloon, even though we're moving at 20 k's an hour, is that we are lighter than air. A balloon is a lighter than air aircraft, so you don't actually get any feeling of movement in a balloon because you are the wind. So, where you would feel turbulence in an aircraft, you wouldn't feel that in a balloon because we basically move with the wind. So we're not kind of going through it to have it, hit an air pocket or...
It was a different story as the balloon changes height.
We drop back down and you'll kind of feel a bit of wind now as we go through that layer where the wind is actually reversing. As soon as the wind's going in a different direction, until the balloon actually starts to come around, you'll just feel it across the basket. That's our turbulence at work there.
You feel it in the back of my ears, kid.
I should have put the turbulence light on. Ding! Fasten your seatbelts. So effectively, the things that we have on a balloon that we take from a kind of, electronics point of view is we have altimeter, obviously, so we can tell what our height is. GPS here, a unit. We carry VHF radio to contact the control tower. We have a transponder on here, and then we're carrying UHF radios to communicate to Nick over here and also to our ground crew. You've got to go back to the fact that ballooning is the world's oldest form of aviation. So really, the wicker basket, the flame in a bag, and a bag is really all you need.
Preparations for an event rare in modern Australia. A balloon ascent.
And personally, Kip, what was your attraction to ballooning and where did that come from?
Well, it was part of an anger management thing, actually. I was my parole officer had got me into ballooning through the basket weaving program.
You did a good job.
It really helped
it's an
kind of
excellent basket.
my more temperamental side of my personality. It's actually been very good for me. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm now tracking 224.
You know where you're going to land yet?
Oh, look, we kind of have an idea. We're heading across towards like the zoo area. Adelaide. I mean, my adage in ballooning is green and flat.
Yep.
And then flat. And then just the ground, So, it's a law of diminishing returns, and you're flying over a city of 4 million people.
It's beautifully simple. Don't land on Carlton's home ground, though. Don't.
See the animals?
This giraffe. Elephants. Hey, elephant.
There's the lions. You got the lions down there, sleeping away. That's not one of our green and flat options.
No, thank you. Our ride was nearly over, and Kip had spotted the best place to land.
Okay, we're back down here. Okay, so we're just going to come down in the middle of this big green and flat thing here.
I wasn't so sure about the other pilots.
Repeat, mate, repeat. Faz, just be aware, I might be over near the hockey centre.
What's a bit? Down a bit. Mind the tree, Kif. Up, steady. Mind the tree, Kif. Here we go. Coming in. Make it good, Kif. Make it good, Kif.
If you look up, you'll get the vent opening. Shoot, Pete. Go up. We'll go up and then down. Ready? Let's go.
Okay, here we go.
There we go.
Duck it in. Oh my God! Let's go with the flow. A vent in the top of the balloon let out the hot air and kept us safely on the ground.
Hey, You can get off the floor of the basket now, Pete. It's all over, Pete.
There's a little bit of
Up
wee on the
again.
floor.
Come on.
Small amounts of wheat. Nothing more than that, though. That was really enjoyable, kid. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
That was great fun.
Yeah, good.
You may think that was it, but oh no, my friends, there was more work to do. Oh, yes. Welcome to my world, kid. As easy as that. You know, job done. Just time for the team photo.
Okay.
Look action.
Give us a little
Look action.
wave. That's it. Just a big smile.
Don't often see a D go
Yeah.
slippery.
Okay. Righto. That's it, guys. Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you. Thanks to all the guys who made that happen. I had a ball. Wasn't that scary? Though it is nice to be back at the desk because I know it's not going to plummet out of the sky. If you want me to find out something on your behalf or you have a question for any of the segments on the show, what you need to do is get in touch. Write to canwehelp@your.abc.net.au. Earlier in the show, we started the story of Barbara Huggett, who's a bit ill at the moment, and her nurse and friend wrote to us to see if we could make her day a bit special by meeting with Suzi Quatro. Well, we did, and this is what happened.
After weeks of secret meetings and endless phone calls, Anya and Carol will finally get their reward, giving Barbara the great news.
I'm about to surprise Barbara with the backstage pass for Suzi Quatro. It's a very, very exciting moment for me to be able to do this for Barbara, but it's also very scary.
For the past 8 months, Barbara has been fighting an aggressive form of cancer, and her friends think she deserves something special to lift her spirits. And we couldn't agree more.
Oh, goodness me.
I really loved Suzi Quatro, and because I really enjoyed the company, tomorrow you're going to meet her, Barbara.
Oh, no way.
And me.
You're joking.
No.
How'd you do that?
Well, Can We Help me? I emailed Can We Help from the ABC with the help of the ABC.
ABC?
Yes.
Oh, this was a joke.
No.
You tricked me. We were joking that we were going to go backstage and soon she was going to call us up on stage and we were going to sing and she was going to send cars around to pick us up and all this silly stuff. Oh, wow, is this for real? You can't have better friends, can you? I'm in shock and just overwhelmed by the whole thing. Just, to have friends that do things like this for you is just wonderful. Suzi Quatro, here he comes. It's a great night. So much fun. Suzi.
It's the culmination of a lot of hard work, but finally the day's arrived, and the big event is only a couple of hours away. All that's left is for Barbara and her entourage to start gearing up for the night ahead.
No one's touching this glass.
She won't let us touch it.
My girlfriends, they ring me every day, text me every day, check on me, make sure I'm right, and they're a wonderful support group.
See ya.
The girls are looking forward to a big performance. It's a sellout show and the last stop on Suzi's 2-week tour down under. The concert's about to start, but for Barbara, the main event will come after the show when she goes backstage for a private meeting with Suzi.
To have such wonderful family and friends and the great support group to do this for me, put a smile on my face and take my mind off things, is just wonderful.
Suzi's put on a great show, but the finale is yet to come.
Here goes Suzi.
The nerves are building. But with Carol by her side, Barbara is ready for her first celebrity encounter.
I'm not going to say this straight after everyone. I'm going to say hello first. Hello, Susie. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
So much.
My pleasure.
This is my friend Carol.
Hi. How are you, Carol?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This is wonderful.
It's not every day a fan gets some one-on-one time with a star, but Barbara's going to make the most of it.
Oh, sure. I sign them all the time.
Do you? For someone to take time out for simple old me, girls from Cooma, are just amazing. We're very lucky.
That's the one I sent to my father.
Right.
And I said I was going to be getting married. And he said, don't tell me it's the guy with his hand down his trousers and the beard. I said, that's the one.
Good on you.
He said, I knew it had to be of those people, that's the one you would be married.
We've got a little kangaroo here we'd like to give to you with a little badge there of Cooma.
So
Cooma
cute.
does exist.
So cute.
And we have a card.
I shall sleep with this tonight.
Good on you.
Safe sex.
Can't go wrong there. She's very casual, very, yeah, lovely. Really, really enjoyed it. Wow.
Yeah?
Oh, this is lovely. Wow. This is good. It was just wonderful. It was something I never expected that I would ever do. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
Wonderful. Thanks very much. Bye-bye. Bye. Oh. How was that, all right? How was that? That was amazing. Was that natural enough? Yeah. Was that all right? Oh, my goodness, that was so exciting.
What a great day for Barbara, and our thoughts are with her, and a big special thank you to Susie Quattro for helping us out with that one. Don't forget about our researchers. They're like coiled springs waiting for your emails and letters. They love it when they arrive by the basket load. We'll see you next week.